The Battle of Navsari. This battle was fought between the Arab Umayyad Khalifa and South Indian Chalukyan Empire. To be frank, almost all of the battles that Indian side kingdoms won against the Arabs, Ghaznavi, Ghori, Persians have been totally forgotten by us. Almost from 6th to 8th century AD have been completely neglected in our school history textbooks. Why? I don't know. Namaskaram everyone, welcome to another interesting video from Brahmaj. Today we are going to learn about the Chalukyan empires of the South India. Before we head to the story, if you are new to the channel, then please subscribe and hit that bell icon. Okay, let's begin. The year was 739 AD. The Massive Umayyad Horde approached to raid the lands of Chalukyan Territory. The invaders were led by Hakim, the governor of Sindh. Hakim's main tactics included raiding and relying on superior Arab cavalry to outmaneuver his opponents. Probably this is the first time ever South Indian Empire had to face foreign invasions from the north. After sacking Kingdoms of Sindh, Kutch and Vallabhis of Sourashtra, Arabs under the command of Hakim tried to move towards the south of Gujarat. With a vast army, they have wreaked havoc in the regions of Gujarat and Rajasthan. The king of Nandipuri, Jayabhatha, lost over the Arab Caliphate on the banks of river Mahi. The problem occurred to Chalukyan Empire is that Chalukyan Empire had border with river Mahi. In the same time, Chalukyas were fighting with Pallavas in the south. As they heard the Arabs' invasion in the north of river Mahi, they appointed the Chalukyan viceroy of Gujarat branch, Pulikeshin, to look over the Arabs and organize a huge army there. And they waited for the Arabs to cross the river Purna in Navsari. Even some of the vessels of Chalukya's Danti Durga and others also stationed in Navsari and awaited for the Arabs to cross the river. Meanwhile, Arabs took the standing army in Sindh, also bought a large army from Baghdad and stationed in the right bank of the river Purna. When the Arabs crossed the river, Chalukyas encircled the Arabs strictly, and there was a huge-scale battle between them. Most of the Arabs' infantry and horsemen have been stamped by the rageful elephants of Chalukyas. The core of the Chalukyan Empire was the Elephant Corps. With more than 800 elephants, the Chalukyan army had an upper hand. But the Arabs had a very strong cavalry as well. The cavalry of Chalukyas was utilized not for direct assault, completely but as outflankers. Overall, the two armies were fairly equally matched and the face-off was ready. But there was one minor difference between the two sides. The Khalifa warriors were invaders. They were here to take out the upper regions of Chalukyas and annex it. Their morale was certainly high, but they were far away from their governing region in Sindh. The Arab army had approached near the city of Navsari, which, according to the legend, was built by Pulikeshin himself. The small city was surrounded by forest, which gave an advantage to the local army. Invaders arrived in an elongated column. Their large army stretched along the land. The Chalukyan horsemen played an important and planned role in defending against the Arab horsemen. As Chalukyas had more elephant fleets, Arab did not match with them, and many of them ran away from the battlefield. Feeling to be lost, the commander Hakim escaped, but later he was captured and killed. The Arabs never expected this would happen with them. With shame and dissatisfaction, they returned to Sindh. And this was the last war they fought with Indians, and they never faced India with war. Though Arabs had a naval conquest in Sourashtra after the war, they were again defeated by the Saindhavas. The Chalukyas were expected that Arabs could again attack them. This time, Emperor Vikramaditya himself backed with a large army from the south of Navsari to finish the Arab invasion. This time, Chalukyas were even crueler to the invaders as they burned the Arab captives alive in the battlefield. And they even expanded their territory to the north. Most probably, the Indians and the Byzantine empires were the only two who successfully won over the Arabs in the 7th and 8th century. These battles were never even heard by the Europeans, as the Arabs didn't mention about their loss anywhere in the world. Even Arabs would have felt guilty about themselves to tell that they lost while fighting with the wild boars. The royal emblem of the Chalukyas was the wild boar of India. I hope you liked this video. If you'd like to hear more about the untold stories of India, then please subscribe to my channel. I'll come back with a new video soon. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.